US happening today. So what does that mean, Laura Lee? That means we have for you, our friend, a mega session. So we have all the spoiled agents covered between Canada and the US to chat with you today about your fabulous property, the Sheraton Buganvilias Resort and Convention Center in Puerto Vallarta, Mexico.
Excellent.
Hi, everyone. Hello, hello, bonjour from Montreal. Hello, Columbus, Ohio. It's chilly here too, guys. I'm in just outside Toronto. It's chilly. It snowed yesterday. My watch says it's -11. That's pretty cold.
Oh,
Yes. And I know you're in Seattle, so you're warmer.
well, warmer than that. Definitely.
Okay, I see someone has their hand up, guys. If you want to just put anything in the chat, that's great. There's so many of you for us to unmute. We wouldn't be able to do it today. But if you do have questions, we ask that you add them to the Q&A box. So not the chat, because when Lauren Lee and I take the questions at the end, the chat moves them up and we won't be able to find them. And we want to make sure we get all your questions answered. So any Q&A into the questions into the Q&A. All right. And I know you guys are in for a treat. I know a lot of you know our friend Laura Lee Graham, and she's a sales representative for the Sheraton Buganvilias Resort and Convention Center. And she's become a very good friend of ours here at Spoiled Agent. We love working with all of you guys.
Definitely.
Thank you. Thank you. Well, I know we have a lot of spoiled agents on that, want to hear all the great updates. But Laura Lee, I want to mention that you have a fantastic prize that's going to go to a lucky spoiled agent today who stays
Yes,
on to
ma'am.
the question period. But they don't have to ask a question, just on to the question period. Okay. So, do you want to say what that special one is?
We are giving you 3 days, 2 nights, breakfast included at the Sheraton Buganvilias. You can add additional nights at agent rate. We have great agent rates year round, obviously high season, low season. But we welcome you. And anytime you want to come down, reach out to me and we'll see what we can do. And if you're here, even like on a cruise, I can always set up a lunch or breakfast and a full site inspection with my counterpart, Jesus, which Susan knows Jesus very well.
Yes. Yeah.
And he loves to host you if you're down in PV. So we'd rather you stay with us, but if you're not, you're certainly still welcome to come visit us.
Well, and our friend Neil, who I know is in the US, he's asking, would there be an option for them to upgrade themselves to all-inclusive when they're there?
I believe so. I believe so.
Oh, excellent. Wonderful. Wonderful, wonderful. Hello, everyone. And yes, we all love our friend Jesus too. We're not forgetting about him, of course. He's a great friend of all of ours here at Spoiled Agent as well. And Laura Lee, I know you know your stuff, that's for sure. And everyone's ready to go and see you in person. I see all the great updates for sure. I want to welcome our friends here on Facebook as well. And I'm looking over here at Facebook because that's where it is. So thank you guys so much. Our friends on Facebook, please put your email in the comments. If you're on Zoom, we've got it. We don't need your email because you registered. So again, you just have to stay on to the question period to qualify for today's fabulous prize. And today's session is being recorded. And later on today, we're going to put it onto, of course, Laura Lee's site. So it's going to be under spoiledagent.com. You just go down to the hotel tab, and there you're going to find everything you want to find about Sheraton Bougainvillas, including like wedding information, sales contacts, and more. Right, miss?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, I'm gonna meet you at the end and I'm gonna let you take over. But again,
Okay.
any questions, guys, please just only questions in the Q&A.
Good morning, everybody. I'm in sunny, well, not sunny Seattle, but I'm going to start out by putting you in the mood to go to Mexico. Here we go. Did that put you all in the mood, ready to lay on the beach in Mexico? So as you can see, we are in the hotel zone right before the Centro. You can see on the screen there, just to my right, it says El Centro. It's about a 2-minute taxi ride. So the Sheraton Buganvilias is privately owned. It makes us a little unique. We are part of Bonvoy and Marriott and all of the programs that you love, but we are also privately owned by one family, and we have been owned by the same family since we opened in 1982. What that means, I think, is that you get the privileges and the comps and the benefits and everything of the Bonvoy program, et cetera, but you also get a personal touch of a family owned property. I know that we have had one family member live on site full time at all times since we opened. And I've told this story before, it's absolutely true. I was going into breakfast one morning, and the daughter that was living there at the time was in the ladies' powder room and behind the restaurant, hair, makeup, high heels, perfect. And she was rearranging the flowers in the bathroom. Now, where are you going to get that? But also, again, we are a 4 Diamond award winning property. And you can see where we are. You can see the Bay of Banderas here. And then the Hotel Zone del Sur. There's all kinds of stuff to do. We're talking today about why PV, why Puerto Vallarta. I went to school in Guadalajara. I've been traveling to Mexico my entire adult life, and I have settled on Puerto Vallarta as my favorite destination. And I'll tell you why. It is the most Mexican town in Mexico. It's not just cut out of the the jungle. Here we go. You can see that there's a lot to see and do. You can see the Catedral downtown. Old downtown is authentic. It's actually a town that became a tourist destination. It's not a tourist destination that was cut out of, the jungle like some of the others in not just in Mexico, but other areas as well. So there's a lot more feel of culture. And when you're in the Malecón in the afternoon, you're going to see families with their children walking up and down the street. Um, it's very friendly. It's very authentic. Um, I was down there in May to, update and do the research for you and update, my knowledge. And I can tell you, it's just as great as it's ever been. You can see obviously that we're right on the beach, and the beach is not gravel. It's nice sandy beach. And I love that you can see this jetty here, and we'll talk about that in a minute, but you can see that's where we can hold weddings. You can also have a couples massage spa out there at twilight if you want. This is the big pool. I call it the activity pool, the let's play volleyball pool. But if you can see over here in the corner next to the other palapa, there's another pool with a hot tub up here in the island, and it's a quieter and there's no music and that kind of stuff. So it's a great, we have lots of different room categories. We'll talk about that as well. The weather, of course, in Mexico is perfect almost all year. The only time that it's not perfect is the rainy season, and usually that's only for maybe half an hour a day in the mid to late afternoon. I've been there pretty much year round, and there's just no time that's bad to go to Mexico, and especially Puerto Vallarta. Oh my gosh, we have 3 different plans, which makes it really great for your clients. They can do the EP European plan, which is just the hotel. And years ago, when Nayarit was developed, they were all inclusive, all inclusive, all inclusive, and the hotels in on the hotel zone kind of pushed away from it. But now they're all inclusive as well, so that's an option. And then also, as with your prize that you're going to win today is the bread and breakfast. So they can have breakfast included, or just the room, or all inclusive. Now, having done the all inclusive myself this spring, I can tell you, first of all, you're going to have better commission because your total is going to be higher, right? And also, I can really tell you it's worth the value. A Coco Loco is probably 25 US dollars. And if it's, 75 to add the all inclusive, why not? And then you don't have to worry about the kids ordering guacs and chips and lemonade and all that kind of stuff at the pool all day. You've got breakfast, lunch, dinner. We'll talk about some of the restaurants in a little bit. But also it includes the Sunday brunch, which is, I think I saw it was 50 US dollars per person. And we have by far the best Sunday brunch in Puerto Vallarta. And over the years, I've had other reps from other hotels agree with me. So that's not just my opinion, but it's pretty fantastic. And it also includes the fiesta night on Thursday nights. And that's full, beverage, dinner, show, dessert, the whole thing, and it's right on site. And what's great is we are the largest convention center and space in PV, so that's another discussion, but don't forget about that. But it also means if it's raining, we can move the fiesta night inside. We have lots of options for food. This is just the morning deli where they serve Starbucks, which cracks me up because I live in Seattle, land of Starbucks. We have one, yes, it's true, on almost every corner. This is not included in the all-inclusive, but it's right off the elevator, and it's really handy to get down there and get a morning latte or whatever. The restaurants, oh my goodness. We have 7 restaurants, 4 bars, and they go all the way across. This is our new one. I was there this spring. It's called Punta Sal. It's right on the beach. And I mean, look, you can see it's right on the beach. It's actually up on a platform out in the sand. It's spectacular. It is not all inclusive. It's part of the menu is all inclusive and part of it is not. But they have a seafood platter that is the size of a serving platter that's well enough for 2, and it's the service is fantastic. That view is absolutely outstanding. It's primarily seafood, but not all. But if you can look at those windows, they're half windows, and you literally are sitting there with the breeze coming in. That opened in February. So it's really, really spectacular. Service is excellent, absolutely worth going off the all-inclusive. But again, about half the menu is on the all-inclusive, and it's like in a color, so it's pretty clear to your customers, but absolutely, absolutely worth it. Gaviotas, oh my goodness. This is our 4-diamond AAA restaurant. We were earlier I'm sorry, 2024 voted as best high-end cuisine in Mexico, a hotel restaurant. We won a national award for top high fine dining in Mexico. It's a 5-course dinner. They bring in like a little appetizer, and then they bring in this little thing with smoke, and they lift it up, and the smoke comes up. It's really spectacular. And again, of course, fabulous views, fabulous views. But again, 4-diamond AAA. That's a big deal. Here we go. Villita. Here is your breakfast, lunch, dinner, Sunday brunch. This is the palapa that looks out at the pool. Breakfast. You can sit inside or outside. It is all, you can see it's buffet, but they also have a grill. And so you can have your eggs to order, whatever. And then on Sundays, they even have a crepe station and make fresh crepes for you right there. So that, and they have a juicer and all kinds of, it's just too much. You could spend half your morning there just eating. So you can do a la carte, you can do the buffet. You can order from your table if you don't want to walk around, but it's kind of a extravaganza to see everything. So you want to at least take a couple walks through, but you can order your eggs from the table if you don't want to sit there. These restaurants rotate during the year. The Alfresco Trattoria is some nights it's seafood, some nights it's pasta. Different times of the year it is rice and a lot of specialty menus. So you can see that, and you can see that it's right at the pool's edge. The Alfresco Pizzeria, believe it or not, that pizza is really, really good. And you can also order it from your lounge chair at the pool, and they'll bring that. And La Pergola is, of course, your swim up bars, and you can order, right from your chair. You don't have to get up. You don't have to swim to the bar if you don't want to, but you certainly can. I love the lobby bar. That sounds silly, but I like it. It's just off the main lobby, but you're looking out toward the pool. It's just cozy and comfy. It's great to have a cup of coffee in the morning. They do have live music in the evening, and sometimes they have live shows. I just think this is my little coffee place in the morning, and my just chill out in the afternoon or evening. Embarcadero. This is the hip, cool bar. You can see the seating there. And they've got some really cool, my daughter was with us this spring and they loved it. They had, like the espresso martinis and all that kind of stuff, and really great uh, appetizers too. So, but yeah, it's really gastronomic experience. It really is, and the mixology, 100 tequila brands, 100. I'm not a tequila girl because I was in Mexico for too long, but they do have 100 tequilas. Snacks bars, La Palapa, La Careta, those are your swim up bars. This one you can see the big pool. But I'm telling you that the food is really good. Like I said, the pizzas, burgers, quesadillas, all that kind of stuff, ceviche, fresh ceviche, and that's during the day. Oh, the Maeve Spa. After COVID, we did a $12 million upgrade, refresh, all the rooms, all the public areas, and the Maeve Spa was quadrupled in size. It used to be just a basic Mexico spa in the corner. Now it's an experience. They have the plunge pools, they have obviously massage and facial and all of that, but it's top notch. We were just recently nominated for best spa in Mexico. So that's a huge deal too. It is spectacular. It is not, I'm sorry, part of the all inclusive, of course, but I definitely recommend that your clients spend a day there. If you have like a girls' weekend, that kind of stuff, we can set up things, or a bridal party. We can set up where, each person has, a $150 certificate, and that's part of their package. So anything you need like that, we're certainly happy to do, but Maeve Spa is not to be missed. Here you go. You got some internal, you can see the plunge pools. Um, it's great. It's great. I spent the day there just for research for you. Now, the other thing we added with our refresh after COVID was a bridal suite. So they have a room to get ready. We can bring in champagne and food. We can bring in photographers, makeup, hair, anything that the bridal party needs. They have a suite just to get ready and have their girls' party or whatever they want to do. And again, we have 2 full-time on-site wedding planners. And I know Gabriela just emailed me yesterday. She knows I'm doing this. And she said, please call me. I'm happy to help you do anything you need for whether 2 people or 300. I have seen them do a sit-down dinner on the beach for 400 people. I watched it. I was there. They hired 42 extra people for 5 days. It took them 3 days to set up, 1 day for the event, and a day and a half to tear it down. So this is a great place for weddings, whether it's just the bride and groom, or you have 300 people. And remember, they're paying for the wedding, and they start at like $6,000. I mean, that's great for destination wedding with sit down for 30 people. But remember that you're getting commission on that, but you're also getting commission on the rooms. So if you have 30 rooms, you're getting commission on 30 rooms. So that's a great way for you to, yeah. And again, Gabriela is wonderful to work with. She'd love to hear from you. If you need to get a hold of her directly, just contact me and I'll get you her email direct. And for those of you who saw my email yesterday, it actually has a direct link to her. So that is a great place for weddings. We have a workout room, which my husband took advantage of at 5 a.m. every morning, and it looks out to the gardens behind the palapa, so at least it looks jungly and nice. It's not a view of the pool or the water, but it is a nice view, and it's a very up-to-date workout room, according to my husband. I was sleeping. The Kids Club, the Sheraton's Kids Club, is free. It's open 7 days a week, 9 to 5 for ages 5 to 12. You see that they've got technology and Xbox and the stuff over in the corner. Then they've got activities and crafts for the littles. They also do scavenger hunts. You can see the picture of the kids on the beach. They do scavenger hunts out on the beach. So it's lots of fun. We also do offer at a price daycare or evening care, nanny care in your room by reservation. And it's usually the same people that they were with during the day. And they've been vetted and, for security and all that kind of stuff. So if you do want to go into town or just go down to Gaviotas or one of the nice restaurants and just get a break for a couple hours, you can reserve in-room childcare. But the care at Sheraton's is always free, and they have lots of fun activities. La Tienda is just the store on site for your basics. There are some nice, little tchotchkes, etc. But that's also where you're going to get your toiletries and things you might have run out of, or snacks, or soda, or water, that kind of thing. And that's just right off the main lobby. The rooms. Okay, this is where we go. You see where it says types of rooms? Garden view, sun terrace, ocean view. Okay, so the great thing about our property, and you saw the overview and you'll see it again, everything is oceanfront view. So that is the view from your bed. Now, some people, a lot of the rooms, a majority of the rooms do not have outdoor decks, or, and people think that's a negative, but look at that view. It's actually a better view than if you have a deck, because that bottom half would be covered. It's going to have a balcony, right? And it's going to have a wall. So when you're laying in your bed, you're not going to see the sand. You're just going to see the sky, which is still a great view. And some people, they really, really want to have that balcony. I had a balcony this year. I went out twice and had coffee for 10 minutes. I don't care about the balcony, but as you can see right here, it opens from the waist up. So you can sit right here and you're on your couch, have your coffee with the breeze coming in, with a beautiful, beautiful unobstructed view. So if you are booking, make sure that you, know that your clients are not going to have balconies unless they're requested. But again, I don't think it's a negative. I actually think it's a positive. The other thing, when you look at room types, garden view to Sheraton Club is bottom to top. So we know in the industry that garden view usually means no view, right? Actually, what it means, at our property, it is still full ocean view, but it's the bottom 4 floors. So we call it garden view because it may be obstructed by palm trees. It may be obstructed by the palapa or a restaurant. So just keep those things in mind as they move up. I think 5 through 7, 5 through 8 is sun terrace. Then you move up to ocean, deluxe ocean view. And then at the top 3 floors is our Sheraton Club, which that is adults only. So yes, we're kid friendly. We're very, very family friendly, but people that love our location, they want to be in their Bonvoy program, all of those things, but they don't want to be on a floor with kids. This is a great option. There's a nice heavy continental breakfast included. There's an office up there. It is 2 suites opened up, so you have that big unobstructed view times 2. And then also cocktails and appetizers at 4 p.m., which is great because if you've been at the pool all day, you can go up, take a shower, come up here, have a cocktail, and then decide if you want to eat on site or if you want to go downtown, which again is just a couple minutes away. Oh, there we go. Also, butler service. There we go. American breakfast, juice, coffee, tea, and computers, etc. As I alluded to earlier, we also have our own fiesta night. It's usually on Thursdays, and that includes the party, dinner, buffet, drinks, mariachi, folklorico dancing, fireworks, the whole schmear. And for those of you that don't know, Puerto Vallarta is in the state of Jalisco, and in Guadalajara is where mariachi was created. So you're actually getting the best of the best in Jalisco at our fiesta night. And that is included with the all-inclusive. We do have a new Facebook page, one for Canadian and one for US, and we'll get that to Susan to make sure if you want to join. And Jesus actually keeps that up, so you'll hear from him if you are familiar with my compatriot Jesus in Puerto Vallarta, and you'll get that. We do have $75 Amazon gift cards for incentives for you. Contact me for that. And that's in addition to your commission. So remember, you have all-inclusive, you have EP, and you have bed and breakfast. So I highly suggest that you recommend the all-inclusive. It's going to up your commissions, but it's also going to just make everything easy for your clients. And again, when a Coco Loco is $20 or $25, what the heck, Then it's going to include breakfast, lunch, dinner, liquor from 11 a.m. to 11 p.m., fiesta night, and Sunday brunch. Says 15-minute walk from downtown. I disagree with that. I've done it. It's hot. It's sticky. It's $3 for a taxi. If you want to walk, go ahead. It's a nice walk. But, it is hot and sticky, so I wouldn't do it. We are really, really close to the airport, though, but we are on the beach. Over 470 rooms, oceanfront, 4-star diamond rated hotel. That is a big deal. The Maeve Spa, as we discussed, 7 restaurants, 4 bars, and the new restaurant Punta Sal, absolutely spectacular. 24/7 room service, fitness center. Oh, tennis courts. Yeah, we have big tennis courts. We have 2 tennis pros on site. We do have access to golf, and we can make those reservations for you. And one other thing that came up when I was there, and I've had agents ask, the little scooters that people need a little extra help getting around. We do not have them on site, but we can arrange those for your clients with our concierge. So that is just something to kind of put in your pocket. Um, the night theme nights, kids activities, Mexican party. We've talked about all that. I don't want to bore you with that. So there you go. You've seen all of this. I am going to open this. There you go. Twitter, Sheraton_PVR, Instagram, Sheraton PV. I know that Susan has a lot of questions for me, so I'm going to hand it back over to her.
Well, that was a fantastic update, super comprehensive. And I love that you can totally relate to the property. Like, you know it, you've been a part of it for probably 2 decades, right?
Yeah, 17 years. The first time. Now I'm back.
It's
But
over.
my kids grew up going to this property. And when my daughter was in high school, she did trade shows with me. She had her
Oh,
suit on and she'd sit there and she goes, "Oh no, you want this room for this. And if you have kids, we have rooms that adjoin. And this restaurant's really great." So it is really
aw.
multi-generational. And that reasons to come to Puerto Vallarta, it is multi-generational. And in the 80s, I went every 6 months, double income, no kids, and I went to some of the other destinations a lot. And then when I had kids, I found that a lot of the places were really, really about partying, after 9 o'clock.
Yeah.
And then I gravitated back to PV because it has been multi-generational for my family too. My daughter was 2 years old she was 2 years old the first time I took her, and she's 32 and she just went in May. So that is very multi-generational.
Wow. Amazing. We love to hear those stories. Okay, you do have lots of great questions, of course. And again, if you have questions, everyone, please put them in the Q&A box, not the chat. Gail is asking, do you guys offer any transportation from the PVR airport?
Good question. If it is booked through a tour operator, yes. If it's booked direct, no. But it's only a 10-minute taxi ride. Maybe it says 10 to 15 if it's traffic's heavy, but really it's only a 10-minute taxi drive. It was under $20.
Okay. And Joyce is asking, is the beach swimmable?
Yes, definitely.
Okay, great. And do you guys have accessible rooms, grounds as well from Joyce?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. Neil is asking, how close are you to the blue chairs on the beach? So from, I guess, actually walking up to the resort to the beach.
50 yards at the most.
Okay, excellent. Okay, so Joyce is asking, and I think you touched on it, but it's good to revisit it. Can you book all inclusive through a tour operator, or does it have to be booked directly?
No, you can book it through tour operators. And I've got a list here for you.
Okay.
Really quick, I've got it right here.
Oh,
In
good.
Canada, we have WestJet, Sunwing, Transat, and Travel brands. And in the US, we have Apple Leisure Group, which gives you like 17 options, Pleasant Holidays, and Sun Country. And we offer all inclusive in all of them.
Okay, amazing. Amazing, amazing. Okay, so Man is asking for the Four Diamond restaurant. Is it included all the time for all inclusive?
It is included for one meal.
Okay.
And then that is reservation. You have to make a reservation. It's not huge. We made a reservation and we couldn't figure out why it was sold out at 10 o'clock in the morning, because when we got there, it was almost totally empty. There were like 4 tables. Well, the reason they did it is because they had a group of 20 coming in.
Yeah.
So they had like 3 waiters just for them. So I thought, okay, well, that's good, because if you filled the place up, you would have been understaffed, right?
Yeah, for
So you
sure.
can make a reservation for Gaviotas just at the front desk or at the concierge.
Okay. Sounds good. And is there a cost for the bridal suite? Vanessa's asking on Zoom.
I don't think so.
Okay.
No, that's included. I mean, and
Okay.
again, there is a big section on our website, SheratonVallarta.com/weddings, that has the petite package and the grand and the, what's included, what's not, and you can add on and custom design any kind of package that you like.
And that's actually a great segue for me to mention that as you were speaking, Laura Lee, I added your contact information both on Zoom and Facebook, and also the your supplier page on Spoiled Agent where they can find you with wedding information and things like that.
Awesome.
Well,
Thank you so much.
yeah, no, thank you. So Natalie's asking, is there any commission on extras like the spas and stuff if they book them?
Spas, no,
Okay.
because they're doing that on site. Unless, I mean, you can, if you were doing it direct with us and you said, okay, I want a $200 spa included in this package, then logic would say yes, because it's part of the price, right?
Okay.
But you're not pre-booking spas with a tour operator, but you
Right.
can do like a gift card or, inclusive, it includes $200 in the spa, but that would be, you could do that directly with us ahead of time and book everything else. Everything else is all inclusive except the spa, right?
Yep, for sure. Charlene's saying she's looked online and she just wants to confirm is a resort like within walking distance to the romantic zone? It doesn't like look like it is online.
Not the romantic zone.
Okay.
To downtown, the main Malecon, yes, but then you're going through downtown, all of that, which is probably a mile, and then the romantic zone. The romantic zone's about a 10-minute taxi drive.
Okay. Very
And my
good.
favorite restaurant, La Palapa, is there.
Yum.
My favorite offsite hotel. I've been going to that restaurant for over 30 years. It's
Oh,
family owned. It's been there for generations. It's right on the beach. And now that new walk, the big big walk out and it's
yeah.
right next to it. It's right next to it. So the view of that, it's beautiful. And it is another family owned restaurant.
Oh, that's a really great pro tip. How's that? Hank is asking, and I'm also gonna loop in Tanya's question as well. Are families charged full price for children, and what is the age of the kids club?
The age of the kids club is 5 to 12. And the kids, I believe, are included 2 kids with 2 adults. It's not full price, and I think that's to age 12.
And Stella's asking, do you have single rates?
Of course.
Yes.
What
Okay.
hotel would not have a single rate?
But I believe maybe they have to pay the single supplement, correct?
Right, right.
Okay. And Kelsey's asking, do you know if there's a maximum amount of weddings that occur on the property per day?
I've had that question before. I can't imagine that we would have more than two. But because there's definitely space for two. That's a question I have to get to Gabriela, but they're not going to stack them. There's no, and again, we can have and that's another thing about the convention space too, to just mention is if the weather is bad or it's looking bad, we can move it inside. We would hate to have 30 or 40 people fly down there and be standing there in the pouring down rain during a wedding. And
Yeah.
that's something that the bride and groom can discuss with the wedding planner as, when they're down there. But just to keep that in mind, that's just a little back pocket, extra thing that you can't always do at other hotels. You
Mm,
can't just say, oh, it's raining, we're going to move it in, you
right.
know. So,
But you guys can jump into action. That's good.
yes, and I've seen them do it actually with the Fiesta night. I was there once outside and once it was just nasty and they moved it inside.
Wow. That's
They
great.
were both great experiences, but it was just nice to know because it was like, okay, I planned it. I'm only here for a week. There's only one Mexican Fiesta night. I don't want to miss it. What's it going to be like inside? It was still great.
People are saying that's awesome. So good on you guys. Gail is asking, as most of her clients tend to be solo retired travelers, what section of the hotel would you recommend as the best part for her to book?
I would say the Sheraton Club, the top 3 floors. They're not going to have the kids. They can go if they don't want to go sit in a restaurant by themselves, which I do. I don't care, but some people don't. You can have the continental breakfast up in the lounge, up on the top floor, and just look over, or go and have a cocktail at 4 o'clock with it, and just be there by yourself. And
Nice.
I'm going to tell you, they're going to have you. You're going to know their first names by the first day, and they're going to know them and spoil them rotten. My husband every morning gave $20 to Eduardo at the swim up pool every morning, right when he after breakfast, and he made sure they were all taken care of all day.
Aw.
So no, they're going to take really good care. The thing about Mexico that I fell in love with at 20 years old, being an exchange student, I'd never been out of the country, is the culture. People, children, families, older people, they're treasures. And that's just part of the culture of the Latin community. It's the same in Central and South America, but Mexico, they're going to find your client. She's by herself. They're going to come in and make sure she's got her favorite table when she wants to have breakfast. You know, and oh, another thing, okay, I just thought of this and I found this out kind of backwards, but my husband, we were going into town. We were going to La Palapa, actually. My husband lost his brand new iPhone in the taxi,
Ooh.
brand new. And my daughter had a tracking app on her father, of course. And as we were racing through the streets of PV, we called the hotel and they said, "Oh, all of our taxis are 700 series." Within 20 minutes, they had that driver back at the hotel with the cell phone. So I'm saying that, first of all, just to share it, but also when we're talking about somebody traveling alone, I think that says something about the security
Mm.
traveling from the hotel to downtown.
Yeah, no,
Literally,
for sure.
they were able to track that driver down and have that phone back to the hotel in 20 minutes.
Wow.
So I think that, I have been traveling there my entire adult life. I have never, ever felt unsafe in Mexico,
Yeah. Oh, that's
except
great.
maybe Tijuana at night.
Okay, well, the Sheraton, thank goodness, is not there.
No,
Okay, so Kate's asking, is the kids club autism friendly?
that's a great question. I don't know why it wouldn't be. Um, they're going to make any accommodations they need to make. I mean, like I
Yeah.
said, let's go back to the culture of children.
Yeah.
They're absolutely going to make, and I would venture to guess that they're going to have the same person for that child every day. I
Yeah.
my best friend, my entire life, her son is autistic, and he's an adult now. But I'm very sensitive to those needs, and I know. And he's my nephew basically. He calls me Tia. Actually, he's half Mexican.
Uh,
And and I know that he is more comfortable around having the same person. So I'm sure that they would absolutely make those accommodations and do everything they could to make sure that that child was, comfortable. And
yeah.
it's not a huge place. It's the size of maybe two suites, so it's not overwhelming. I know that Jacob, his first name is Felipe actually, but he goes by Jake. Um, he doesn't like new spaces. He doesn't like big spaces. He doesn't like noisy spaces. And it's not allowed. There's not music blaring, that kind of stuff. So I think it would be very comfortable.
Okay, Sharon's asking which rooms do have balconies, and is there a specific room category to guarantee a balcony?
Um, the balconies, just make sure it's in the request. That's all. Basically, the top floor is balconies partial, like the rooftop. I had that room. I didn't like it because all I could see was the sky, but that again, that's a personal choice. The bottom three floors have balconies, and they just have to be included on the request.
Okay, great. So, a couple questions from Shauna and Tanya. Are there pickleball courts, and what about tennis?
As I mentioned, we have tennis courts. We have two pros on site. We do not have pickleball courts. However, I keep telling them that we're getting record. Pickleball was actually, I believe, created here in Seattle. Know
Oh,
that or not? I have some friends that live in Arizona now, and they come up for tournaments and stuff like that. So I'm continuing to let them them that message. I think the tennis pros are against it, but the tennis courts across from my house here in Seattle have just been painted to accommodate both. They keep
yes.
telling me they can't. I don't know why, but share that on Facebook, share that with the hotel, because I agree with you. We need to put them in. We do not have them currently, but we do have tennis courts and we do have pros on site.
Well, and it becomes a huge niche market, pickleball groups and tennis
I
groups.
lost a big group last year of, well, not big, but like 40 people because I will say, there are about three pickleball court properties nearby, but they did not want to do that because they had already reached out to those pickleball courts and they were all booked.
Yeah.
And so I believe that agent went to a different destination because she couldn't find a hotel that had on-site pickleball courts that she could reserve in advance for her group. So share that, ask for it. I'm with you.
Okay.
I'm going to bring it up again after today.
That's it. Okay. Lisa's asking, how far is the cruise terminal from the resort?
5 minutes north.
Okay, great. Um, Sakura's asking, can you mention, is there any vegan-friendly restaurants options there? I can
Vegan.
say our Sabrina who works here, she went on vacation with her family a couple maybe a year ago or so here to the Sheraton Buganvilias, and her entire family's vegan, and I can tell you that they ate well. So if I can answer that. There we go. So there. Okay. So Maria's asking, so is there a specific person to contact for weddings? She's a client who's looking to book a destination wedding.
Yes, her name is Gabriela. And if you want to put her email on the link, I just emailed her. It's gabriela.espinosa with a S,
Okay.
Espinosa at sheratonvallarta.com.
So what we'll probably do is in the follow-up email, we can add all that as well. Is that okay?
Absolutely.
Okay, great. Maria, there
And
you
then
go.
also you can access her on sheratonvallarta.com/weddings.
Okay. Lisa, we just answered about the romantic zone. You're gonna have to take a taxi there. Okay, so Kate's saying you mentioned Bonvoy. Can they book directly through Marriott or the app?
Yes,
Yep.
definitely.
Okay. Uh,
As a matter of fact, you can go to Marriott and just put Sheraton Puerto Vallarta and it'll all come right up.
Jennifer's asking, so I know we just talked about vegan options, but are there also people who have allergies like gluten, dairy? You guys cover
Yes, my
that?
husband, my husband is gluten free. He went on a diet about 6 years ago and discovered that glutens are his nemesis. He does not have um, celiac. He hasn't been diagnosed, but he is very gluten intolerant, and he didn't have any problems.
Yeah,
And
okay.
remember, tortillas are corn, not flour.
Yes, I do.
I
Yes.
mean, tortilla chips. Tortilla chips are corn.
Okay, so Natalie's asking if I have a client on a cruise, they want to come for a day. So can they get a day pass? Does she have to go through you, or how does that work?
They can, but most cruise lines already have that arranged. They have contracts with specific hotels. We don't really promote the big groups from the cruises because we don't want 75 people dumping in on our guests.
Right.
But
Okay.
yes, you can get a day pass, but I would highly encourage that you check with the cruise line because most of them have contracts with a specific hotel, and then it's already taken care of.
That's fair. And I know Vanessa, we already talked about tour operators. Laura Lee listed Canada and US tour operators as well. We talked about how close you are to the cruise port, Kate. We covered that. And Sherry's asking, do wedding guests get a room discount?
Depending on the size of the group, I'm off the top. Well, you know what? I've got it right here. Hang on.
Sure.
I think
And
I've
while you're
got
doing that, do you
it in
know the
front of
kids
me.
club, Tina, the kids club hours?
The kids club hours are 9 to 5.
Okay.
And I'm looking here at VIP couple, includes breakfast in bed, includes spa for the bride and groom, couples massage, wedding coordinator, officiant, turn down. Well, yeah, it's included. I mean, yeah.
Okay, great.
So
Um,
what I'm looking at here, here, you can see this flyer here.
yeah,
And
yeah.
Susan, I believe you have a
Yes, it's
PDF
on.
of this.
Yep, we do.
And on the back, it actually has the wedding petite, VIP, Bougainvilleas, and deluxe. So, like I said, that goes petite is just the wedding that has the bride and groom and then up to 25 rooms, which would be 50. And like I said, I've actually seen them do it for 400. So yeah.
Okay, perfect. And Sakira's, she just wants to know it's her first time from Mexico, all the staff speak English.
Yes.
Perfect.
Anybody in tourism really worldwide, but
Yeah,
specifically in Mexico, they if they don't speak English, they're not in front of the customer. They might be, you
yeah,
know, they might be maid or cleaning. But remember, unlike the US, Canada's way better than we are, but most countries start teaching English in kindergarten.
Yes.
You know, I've been in tiny villages in Africa where they're teaching 5 languages, you know.
Right.
So yeah, anybody in tourism is going to have a modicum of English, and the more English they have, the more they're going to be like a bartender or
Yeah.
a butler, you know. The more, you know, they get a more prestigious job, the better their English is. So absolutely, you're not going to have any issue with language in Puerto Vallarta.
Okay, so Jessica's asking, what part of the resort would you advise for a family with teens to stay in?
The main section is fine. It's not so big. It's not like Las Vegas. We're going from one end to the other feels like walking 4 football fields. Um, what my kids always preferred well, when they were little, they preferred the big, what I call the activity, let's play volleyball pool, you know, which also has a really big, and again, I took my daughter the first time when she was 2. Um, they have a really big wading pool area on both pools for littles. That's maybe 3 feet deep and or 2 feet. I think one of them's 2 feet, the other one's like 3 feet. So that's great for littles. But my kids always, as they got older, preteen, teenager, they preferred the quieter pool, the smaller pool. But then that one has a big waterfall, and up at the top of the waterfall, there's a hot tub, and you know. So as they got older, they preferred the quiet, what I call the quiet pool.
Okay, great.
And
And
they can,
Patricia,
you know, if you feel old enough, I mean, if you're they're old enough, you know, you could be at the quiet pool and the kids can be playing volleyball with the activity coordinators at the other pool.
yeah, okay. Well,
It's not so
actually,
big that it feels like they're at 2 ends of it. You know, I compare it to Las Vegas, some of those places are huge. This is
yes,
huge. Yeah, we have 473 rooms. It's not huge. It's what I am psychotically overprotective. And I let my kids, when they were, you know, 8, 10 years old, go up to the room or go up to the lobby bar or whatever by themselves. And it is secure. It's a gated entrance. They have to show, you know, so it's really secure.
good. Well, actually, just to kind of hook on to that, Patricia's asking, what about older teens? Are there activities for them?
Yes, and most of them are, like I said, the activity coordinators are really fun. I mean, I was watching them. They were exhausting me just watching them. There's two, usually two at a time, and they come up to the let's play volleyball pool. You know, they come up and they engage those people, and especially the target of teenagers. And they have games. They have mystery games in the trattoria. If you remember, I showed you that restaurant that's right next to the pool.
Yeah,
During
yeah.
the day, that's not open. And so they use that as an area for some of their games and activities. And they had some dress up. I can't remember what exactly they were doing, but it was funny. And then there was one day, not for the teenagers, but they had a tequila tasting over there. You know, but yeah,
Oh,
they have in pool and out of pool activities, and the coordinators come running around the pool and gather everybody up and say, come on, let's go do this. And that's geared definitely to the older kids.
um, let's see here. So just a few questions. Um, Lisa said she's read that you have a bowling alley.
I've heard that. I haven't seen it.
Okay,
I
perfect.
have heard that. I can't confirm it because I haven't seen it, but I do believe that's true.
Megan said, my husband and I went to Puerto Vallarta many years ago. We were given coupons for things that were going on around the hotel. Do you do this? Maybe like there's
Coupons.
street parties, things like that. Is that maybe what Megan's referring to? I'm not sure. Fiestas.
Well, again, with the all-inclusive, those things are all included. They don't need coupons.
But if they were around the hotel, like outside the hotel, I believe like, local events.
That would, I'm sure, be at the concierge desk.
Okay.
Anything like that, there's a concierge desk just off the lobby, and they can, any of those kinds of things they can arrange or let you know about, or yeah, they're really good, and they're there all day, every day.
Okay. And Alice is just asking about vendors on the beach.
Ah, that's a great question.
Okay.
The vendors are not allowed to even talk to you if you are on the hotel property. So if you're sitting at the pool and you're 10 feet away from the sand, they cannot talk to you. If you set foot on the beach, they can and will. But again, I've been going there for a lot of decades, and I've really noticed this last time, especially, there are like probably a third of the vendors there were, say, 20 years ago. And we
Mhm.
have a little section just off to the left where the jetty, near the jetty for the weddings. And they set up there in the morning and they leave in the afternoon. And there was maybe less than 10 vendors, and I'm used to 30.
Yeah.
You
Wow.
so it is a rule, and there is security right there, like physically standing there. They know they cannot bother you. They can't go, hey, lady, hey, look over here. They cannot do that. If you choose to go interact with them, you set foot on the sand, yes. But if you're on the property, no.
Okay, great. And do you guys have timeshare or anything similar?
We do.
Okay.
Um, the side over that actually has a lot of the balconies. That doesn't mean that your client has to be in the timeshare section.
Right.
But it does offer you a kitchen, so you can book those. But that means they'll have a kitchenette in some of the rooms and adjoining rooms more on in that section than in the main hotel section. But I will say again, having traveled there many times over many decades, the 80s and 90s, it was awful. It was just awful.
Yeah.
And they would walk up to you, at any property really. You could be approached 3 or 4 times a day. Now there is one desk and it's next to the concierge activity desk. There's one desk there. And they don't come up to you like on property. Like if you're sitting at the beach pool at the beach, they're not going to come up and say, "Hey, do you want to come have breakfast and do it?" They're not going to do that.
Okay.
So
Good.
it's probably 20% of what it used to be.
Okay. A couple of people have asked me, is this session being recorded? And yes, it is. We record all of our sessions. And where can they find it? So later on today, we're going to load this up onto Laura Lee's actual page on spoiledagent.com. You just go down to hoteliers and you're going to click on the Sheraton Buganvilias tab. And then later on today, we'll have it loaded up along with all of the other webinars that we've done, not just today's, but you can access it from a couple years ago, really, if you want to go back that far, because maybe there's certain information that you're looking for. Kate is asking, what are the peak and low seasons in PV?
Um, Low season starts in April and runs to I think November 1st, and then high season would be November to April.
Okay.
So we're in high season right now.
But it's always a good time to go to Puerto Vallarta.
I was gonna say it's except for the rainy season, and if you can handle an hour of rain maybe in the afternoon, there's no bad time. I prefer September historically, not with kids. If you don't have kids, your clients don't have kids, because the kids are all back in school.
Right.
And September, October, there are more Mexicans at the hotel than people from Canada or
US.
somewhere else. Although there's a lot of Canadians, they love the Sheraton. There's
Yes, yes.
every time I'm there, I meet so many Canadians. They're our neighbors, right?
It's a
But
Canadian favorite, I know for sure.
yes, yes,
Yeah.
but yeah, I like September because the weather's great. It's not rainy season, but if you want to avoid some of the crowds with families and stuff, I think that's a great time. That's my favorite time is September, October. It's not so hot either.
Right. Well, Orly, you did an amazing job today. And I just want to say there's one lucky spoiled agent that's going to come and see Jesus and the whole team. And if you get an
Absolutely.
email from Laura Lee in the next couple of days, it's good news, right?
Yes, yes.
Wonderful. Well, I want to thank you for everything and all of our lovely spoiled agents from across Canada and US for joining us today. You guys did a great job. We appreciate you joining us, whether it's over your coffee or your lunch hour. We really appreciate your time. But Laura Lee, we also really appreciate yours and all the support from you and your entire team. We love working with you guys, and we thank you so much for your time today.
Absolutely. And feel free, as Susan said, she's got my contact information. If you have a group or you have a wedding or you have a multi-generational group, anything like that, reach out to me. If you're working through a tour operator, that's absolutely fine. But if there's anything special that you want taken care of, or you want to leave a gift there for your client, anything like that, just reach out to us at the hotel or to me directly.
Amazing. And thanks for the great job as usual. You're an amazing ambassador for your brand, and thank you for everything.
Thank you, my dear. Nice to see you again.
You
Hello. Thank you, everyone.
Happy New Year, everyone. Bye for now.
Bye bye.
Bye.